I've been on a bit of an adventure lately. Among other things, I earned a more streamlined look, but I am just fine. And I'm really glad to be here today. And wasn't that just amazing? We've got the best team on the planet working on this project. And it started with a simple question, and we posed it 1 year ago today, which is, what could this place really be? Not what could we build here, but what would make it really matter? And from there, we moved from ideas to sketches, to preliminary plans, to something that's really been brought to life like you saw this afternoon. And from the beginning, we really sought out to create something exceptional. A space that energizes our city, a space that brings people in, and a space that would inspire the kind of support it's going to require to bring this space to life. As Annie noted, we're doing something that's fundamentally different here. This is a community improvement district and a nonprofit that have taken down a major privately owned development site and is converting it into permanent public space that's open, that's accessible to all, every day and forever. That's just not something you see or experience, especially in a place like Midtown where land is so competitive. So what you've seen today that Sarah and team have presented represents hundreds of decisions, what to move forward, what to leave out, how far to push, how bold to be, and importantly, as Annie pointed out, has been shaped by almost 6,000 people who lent their voices in terms of what they want to see here. And that's what it's taken to get to this point. I think today marks a bit of a shift from imagining what could be to deciding what will be on this site. So what's next? Yes, we're going to move into schematic design and then into final design and engineering, and we're going to begin to raise the resources to build this park. But I think that framing is a little small to describe what's in front of us, because what we're talking about here is not just a park. This is a chance to create one of Atlanta's next great civic landmarks, a place you go out of your way to experience, that's alive with possibility and different every time you visit. The design that Sarah and team have brought forward is striking, it's thoughtful, it's beautiful. You know, we set out to understand the full potential for a site like this that's located where it is, and I think we've done that. But the design is just the beginning, it's the foundation. What's going to bring this to life is what happens within it, the programming, the unexpected moments, etc. There it is in all its glory before the bulldozers took over, and here's where we're heading. So what brings this to life, as Sarah mentioned, is what happens with programming and the unexpected moments, the programming and the performances you didn't expect to see, art that moves, that changes, that surprises, a reason to show up on a Tuesday and come back on a Saturday with friends. That's what creates the energy, and that's what turns a space into something that people can genuinely connect with. Because we knew all along this place wouldn't be defined by what we build, it'd be defined by how it's used and how it's embraced. And that's where you come in. A place where art isn't just something you look at, but something you experience, and sometimes even something that you create. A place where you can discover something new or run into somebody you didn't expect to see, and a place that really reflects the creativity of this amazing city that we have and gives it a public stage that's worthy of that kind of energy. Now, if everything we're talking about today sounds a little bit ambitious, I would offer a simple question, and that is, why should Atlanta not have a place like this? The places that define cities are the places that give it a really big swing. Nobody remembers the places that played it safe, and nobody goes out of their way to experience a place that's pretty all right. As we've talked to our leadership that's helped shape this project all along, the biggest risk was thinking too small. An opportunity like this has never come along before. With 70 buildings delivered in Midtown, 1 square mile of Midtown in the last 10 years, an opportunity like this is never going to come along again. I mean, it's very unlikely that we're going to bulldoze 4 acres of high-rises to build a public park. So the stars really did align to get to this point. And the reaction I get, and many of our team get, especially from those in the real estate and the development community, is, I can't believe you pulled this off in this location. And it really is pretty incredible. So we've talked about this today as a once-in-a-generational opportunity. It may be more appropriately once in a many-generational opportunity, because something like this is not coming back. So what do we call it? 98 14th Street's going to get you there. It doesn't really do justice to what we're working to create, nor is it really winning hearts and minds. So for now, we've come up with a project title, and it is Midtown Green. Midtown that reflects the identity and the energy that's already defines this part of our city. Green that signals something that's open and verdant and restorative, and together it feels easy to connect to as we continue to advance this project. It's a project name, and let me be clear, if you would like to be a major naming partner, and you would like to help us bring this project to life, we would welcome that conversation. Whether it's the whole park or just pieces of the park, those are going to be important conversations as we move forward. So we're going to keep pushing this. The design, costs, execution, because despite how finished and polished these images look, we got a lot of work to do here, including costs. As Sarah mentioned, this has been a sprint to get these images and this work done so that we could present it today. These are concept images, they're still being tested, and costs are going to be defined by a lot of those details. So the bottom line is, we'd rather be right than early before we put a number on this project. So we are going to keep working this over the coming weeks and come up with some numbers that we can stand behind, along with a plan that gets us there. We're going to be disciplined, but again, we're not thinking small here. And we do know this, that projects like this only happen when you got early believers that say, this is important, I'm in. That's how cities create something that's extraordinary. Importantly, we start a capital campaign with $46 million of wind in our sails, and that is the monies that the MID has expended to purchase the property, not counting the $2 million worth of improvements that we're putting into it just to make it accessible to the public while we continue engaging in final design and fundraising. That's a very big head start. So this is an extremely rare opportunity, and I'm really, really excited to share it today. Honestly, getting to this point of owning this property, bringing it this far, this fast has been more than many of us would have expected. But now we're here. And now it's up to all of us to make it happen. Thank you for being here. Thanks to our sponsors. Don't forget to take our survey. We're adjourned. Thank you.